This is part 2 of the live stream. The player has about $1,900 bankroll and about $400 house money profit. So, with that, I'll continue the blackjack. Oh, it'll be just a second. I gotta put the disc in the camera. But you got 12 seconds. The player has about $1,900 bankroll, $400 profit. And the player is going to make a $200 maximum bet. 3 players are playing. The player has 9, the dealer has an 8. The player has 17. The player cannot increase his hand any, so he stays on 17. The dealer has 19, beating the player out of $200. The player reduces his bet to $100, staying true to the strategy. The player has a weak bust card of 5. The dealer has a 10. The player has 15. The dealer checks the whole card for blackjack, nobody home. The player has 15. The dealer shows a strong 10. The player needs to know if he can hit 12, 13, 14, 15, or 16 for the shoe. 15 is pretty difficult to hit, however, the player is going to try to improve it. Against the 10, he's got no choice. Player has 25 too much, loses $100. The dealer has 20. Was losing pretty much any way you looked at it. The shoe's been pretty good to the player, so he's willing to gamble and put $200 out. The player has a weak bust card of 5. The dealer has 8. The player has 7. Player has 7, the dealer has 8. The player will try to improve his hand and beat 18. The player has 17. The player makes an unorthodox move and hits it to break 17. The player has 20. No, 19. You got a 3. So 17 was hittable for once. The player has, or the dealer has 11. The dealer has 21, beating the player out of $200. The player makes a $200 bet, thinking the shoe may still be in his favor as it was before. The player has a 3, weak bust card of 3. The dealer has a 10. The player has 13. The dealer checks the whole card for blackjack, nobody home. The player is hitting 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 for the shoe, so he will hit 13 to try to improve his hand. 13 is not too difficult to hit, so what do we get? 23. The player loses $200. The player knows the shoe is not in his favor any longer, and it's a weak paying shoe for him. He will reduce his bet to $100 and make some unorthodox moves in an attempt to fix the shoe. However, shoes usually can't be fixed, so we'll see if he's successful or not. Player has a weak bust card of 4. The dealer has a weak bust card of 5. The player has 11. The player has 11. The dealer shows a weak bust card of 5. Of course, the player is going to double his bet and try and get 21 here. 21. The dealer has 10. The dealer has 17. The player wins $200. He did not have to make any unorthodox moves that time because he's a winner. However, he's not confident the shoe is in his favor, so he can continue to make some unorthodox moves and bets $100, staying true to the strategy. The player has a weak bust card of 3. The dealer has a weak bust card of 3. The player has 4-14. The player has 4-14. The dealer shows a weak bust card of 3. The player would double this hand, hoping the dealer busts and hoping he can also improve his 4-14. The player has 13. He's going at 13, hoping the dealer busts. The dealer has 13. The dealer has 23. The player wins $200. The player feels the shoe has moved back into his favor, makes a $200 bet, and is going to try to break even and then leave the shoe because he's not confident he can make money on this shoe. The player has a weak bust card of 5. The dealer has a weak bust card of 3. The player has 9. The player has 9, and the dealer shows a weak bust card of 3, so of course the player is going to double 9 and hope the dealer busts. The player has 12. The dealer has 11. The dealer has 21, beating the player out of $400. The player feels the shoe is not in his favor. However, it's not so bad that he needs to make unorthodox moves to try to fix the shoe. It's really a shoe that he hopes to break even on. Makes a $100 bet, staying true to the strategy. The player has a weak bust card of 4. The dealer has an ace. The player has 13. Insurance open. Insurance closed. The dealer checks the hole card. Nobody home. The dealer has 13, or the player has 13, and the dealer shows a strong ace. The player will hit 13 and attempt to improve it. The player has too much, loses $100. The dealer has 18. Player makes a $100 bet. Just trying to break even if he can. The player has a 9. The dealer has a 7. The player has 11.